That's right, my friends. There are plenty of simple things you can add into your routine in the gym right now, the Fitness Palace of Love, which may actually help you achieve your gains. So I'm going to give you 7 of them. Number 7, do deadlifts last. Or pick whatever compound you do want. Now, look, I used to do this back in the day, but now we can turn to Dorian Yates, who's one of the greatest bodybuilders ever, and he was talking about this online recently, and he said he used to do the same thing, because if he did deadlifts at the start of his back session, one, he may get injured, because of course, by nature, he would be lifting heavier. But if he did deadlifts at the end of his session, one, he was going to kick his ass twice as much, because he would have fatigued his back, but two, again, he wouldn't have to go as heavy, because there's no way he would be able to, because he's done other isolation, whatever the hell he was either doing, exercises. So it worked out all around and he was still getting his compounds in. So I'm not saying that you should do this for the entirety of your weightlifting career, but if at the moment you've hit somewhat of a plateau or you're just looking for something really simple that you can do to try and spice things up again, if you do have deadlifts into your program, instead of doing them first, second or third or wherever you choose to, whack them at the end, use that as a finisher almost. You'll probably wake up the next day going, oh, I'm in so much pain. Because the gym is weird, that's a good thing. Number 6, don't let the bar touch the floor. Which also comes from the same chat that Dorian Yates was doing, and I thought this was really cool, because I used to do this as well. Not saying I'm not the greatest gym lifter ever, that's what it sounds like, but the point is, it ties into a story that admittedly only happened once when I was in the Fitness Palace of Love. And when I was doing deadlifts, don't get me wrong, on plenty of occasions, I used to smash those weights into the floor as well, and probably piss everybody off, but for however long, I didn't. And somebody once came up to me and said, you're doing it wrong, you meant to blah, 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 and I was like, yeah, go away, man. Because of course, if you do not do that, you are going to change the exercise a little bit and you'll probably put more, poor word, of a stress of your back. Because again, usually what happens is when you do plant the bar on the floor, you're kicking your calves, you're kicking your lefts in order to bring it back up again before your back kicks into gear. So it's just these small things that we can do. If you do feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're getting a little bit bored, it actually ties into, let me have a look. No, we have a few before we can talk about that. But with other compound exercises, there is a little trick you can do too. But again, I've got that down here. You can't see it. It's number 4. So for this one, we're just going to say this. Listen to Dorian Yates. Again, he does know what he's talking about. Give it a go. And if you don't like it, you know what? Throw it out the window and never think about it again. Number 5 is think big to get big. Now, this one came from Arnold Schwarzenegger's newsletter that he sent out that I very, very much would advise you to sign up to, because it's always interesting, and how he does it every single 24 hours, I don't know. But it kind of tied into his philosophy for life, and he was saying, in order for him to become a governor and an actor, whatever else he's done, he had to think big, but he also tied it back into the gym, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of these guys who is like, he used everything he learned in the gym to apply it to his real life, which is something that I do. And while it sounds a little bit cheesy, I do believe that it totally works. And the way he kind of tied this in is, of course, we all want to be mass monsters. But if you want to get anywhere in life, and if you want to achieve anything that's deemed a success, and again, success is going to be completely unique to you, you're going to have to go through a little bit of suffering, and you're going to have to go through a little bit of pain. Usually you have to drop the ball to learn how not to drop the ball. And then even though that sucks, you never drop the ball again. And yes, that is the same as a Fitness Palace of Love. Take any exercise that you want. What are we always told? Feel the burn, go through the pain, hit failure and make sure you get a couple more reps out, because that's when the muscle will grow. Do drop sets, do supersets, whatever it may be. And that's what he's talking about here. He's talking about, obviously you want to have that vision in your head of what you want to look like, but also that you are going to have to go through some sad times in order to get the good times. Even if the sad time is just, oh my God, so much as your muscle fills up with lactic acid. So I suppose this is more of a reminder that, it meant to hurt. Most people say, and look, I don't necessarily sign up to this, but it's up to you. But most people do say that, especially on a leg day, you should leave the gym not having a good time at all, because you're meant to whoop your butt to that extent. But I think if you did do that, depending on your personality, you may never go back to the gym. But I like this idea. Think big to get big. Know you have to go through the pain. Know you have to go through the suffering. This is more of a mental tip, I suppose. So when you are in the gym, remember what you're there for. Sometimes, of course, we're going to go through the motions. We're only human beings. But if not, and you're feeling good, you've taken your pre-workout and you're ready to smash through some walls, give yourself a second and remind yourself, what am I here to do? Break that muscle down like D-Generation X. Then you can go tell it to suck it. Break it down. Here we go. Number 4, paused reps. Now, if you're an experienced lifter, you're like, oh, Simon, I can't believe you included paused reps in here. I know, but every single article on the internet is all about drop sets and is all about supersets, to the point I won't even explain them to you because I'm going to assume you know what they are. Whereas pause reps, I think, are an underrated tool that I absolutely love, and yet the clue is in the name. You pause at some point during the rep. Now, we'll take bench press, for example. If I were going to do it for bench press, actually, no, I'm not going to do it this way. Either is fine. That's what I'm going to tell you. Some people will say, oh no, if you're doing bench press again, you pause at the top of the reps. You hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be. And some people tell you, no, you hold it at the bottom of the rep when you've really stretched out your chest. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, down here at the lower point of the repetition, that's probably where you're going to, I don't know, get a better advantage. But it would still work up here as well, because think about it. If you bench and you really squeeze your chest at the top of that repetition, absolutely. If you really hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to be approaching the exercise in a different way. The one I like to do it on the most is leg extensions. Again, it works both ways, because what most people do on leg extensions, they go all the way up and then they come back down, they smash the weights into the weight, so actually there's no time under tension there. There's no tension, I should say. But it works both ways, like I say. If you go up to the point your muscle is contracted, whatever the word is, I get it wrong every time, and you hold it there, again, your quad is be going, wow, and it's going to be working. But at the same time, if you do a controlled repetition back to the starting point, and you don't let that weight stack clash together, so you are actually holding the tension and you keep it there for a few seconds, at least you're still engaging those muscles during a period where you may not be engaging your muscles. So again, that's super simple. You don't even have to move. All you got to do is slow down. And in what other world are you going to get advice that says you got to slow down? Apart from pro wrestling, everybody says that. Number 3 is timing your pre-workout meal. This mostly comes from an Instagram message I got, as always, where somebody said, Simon, I feel so sluggish in the gym. I'm so tired. And I was like, well, when do you have your pre-workout meal? He goes, well, I just have it like I don't know what it was, chicken and pasta. And then I go straight away. Well, don't do that. That's not going to work at all. Because your brain and your body can only do so much. If you put a bunch of food in your gut, you're going to send signals to your brain, digest, so it'll start going through the digestion process. And then if you go to the gym and you're also telling your brain, oh man, I need adrenaline, I need to kick some ass right now, your brain's going to be like, look, ain't that clever, pal? I'm really, really confused. So what actually happens is you kind of divide your energy sort of across all of these processes, and you feel sluggish and you feel tired. It's why, again, you could read a bunch of stuff, all very good stuff, that says you should wait 60 to 90 minutes after eating before you go to the gym. And that's what you should do. There's nothing wrong if you want to eat like a banana or something before you go, but that's a smaller calorific amount. It may just give you a little bit of a boost if you need that. But yes, do not have your pre-workout meal and then go to the gym straight afterwards. You are going to be tired. You are going to feel like everything is a little bit harder. Give it 60 minutes, give it 90 minutes. Only you can tell how good and how effective your body is at digesting. But it's one of those tips I think needs to be shouted about because way too many people are doing it. Number 2 is rush. Now, this is certainly the exception and not the rule. 9 times out of 10, take your time in the gym. Make sure you're doing time and attention and form and strength and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes, especially if you do look at the clock and you're like, man, I don't actually have as much time as I thought I did. There ain't nothing wrong with taking the time you're resting between sets, just speeding it up as much as you can go. Now, that doesn't mean throwing the weights around. That doesn't mean you speed up with your actual exercises. It just means, let's say you usually do 90 minutes in the gym and you only have 45. Get all of your exercises and all of your sets into, say, 45 minutes if you've only got half. And because obviously you have to go twice as fast to get it done, your body doesn't know what's going on. You're going to shock the system. And again, don't forget, body sometimes is going to fight you when it comes to change because it doesn't want to be stressed out, essentially. And again, because it's such a shock to the system, you may actually find it benefits you more than doing the 90 minutes because you always do 90 minutes and mentally and physically, your body is ready for that. I only ever really do this in the scenario that I've just painted where I'm like, damn, I haven't got to the gym here at all. I'm going to a wrestling show or I've got some kind of a work to do. But actually, when I am done with that workout, I'm like, man, that was pretty good. It's almost like an adrenaline hit, right? It's like, I've got to go right now. So absolutely give it a go. Don't make it something you do every single day because I think then it would go the opposite way around. So I would use this as a little like magic pill that you need to take every now and then when you may be in a little bit of a slump. But it's always worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you. Number 1 is pick a body part. Now, this is going to be very specific depending where you are in your fitness journey. But obviously we have 7 days in a week. I like to do push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs, rest, but I also like to change it around. Now, I don't want to give you a specific time. Do not do a program for 4 weeks and then go, it's not working, I'm going to change it. You didn't give it time, right? Even 8 weeks, 12 weeks, maybe even 16 weeks, maybe even 24 weeks. You don't know. You are going to have to look at your body. You're going to have to make notes. You're going to have to see how you feel and how you look in the mirror. We need to take all these little things to decide whether we are headed in the right direction. It's something that I absolutely like to do when you are going through a plan change. Can't talk today. Is pick a body group, right? Pick a muscle set. So let's say we've been doing push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs, rest. And I think, right, we've got to change things up here. Maybe what you could do is you could add in 2 specific pull sessions and you're still going to do 2 your specific leg sessions, but all of a sudden you're only going to have 1 push day, right? And then you do that for 16 weeks or however it may be. And then you switch it around again. Always going to have your 2 leg days. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's just true. But now you're only going to have, I can't remember what I said now, but the other way around. So you're going to have 1 back day or 1 pull day and you're going to have 2 push days. Then within that, you can kind kind of pick specific things in order to work on. And then you can get to the end of that period and be like, oh, what am I looking right now? Did it work or did it not? And the good thing about this is that within a 7-day period, you're also getting 2 days of rest. And I find something that a lot of people aren't actually incorporating into their plans is their rest days. Because of course, if you are doing, we'll do it with my fingers, nice and simple. If you're doing push, pull, legs, rest, watch this, push, pull, legs. Oh no, we've got to 7 days. Now, you can still rest on that Monday if it's the first time that you started off doing it. But if you are going to put your body under this kind of strain all of the time, sometimes it's actually nice within a 7-day period to get 2 days of rest. So I think this is a nice little plan that you can incorporate, especially again if you're a more advanced lifter, that will hopefully get you into a new phase of growth without kind of changing what you're doing. Now, of course, it's always good to train muscle groups twice a week if you're a brand new lifter. Again, I've said this 1,000 times. You know, what's better than 52 times a year? 104 times a year. So why wouldn't you do it twice? You don't do it 3 times just because there's not enough time to recover. But again, if you already built your base and you've already got some good, slabs of meat on you, I absolutely do think you can go right for the next, we'll just go 4 months as a random time. For the next 4 months, I'm still going to train chest and triceps, but this is my back time. Let's try and get some slabs on my back and let's try and get some slabs on my biceps. Then you switch around for the other 4 months, whatever I said, and you go, right, now let's try and get those chest and those triceps popping. Now, you don't have to do that. It's just something that I have found has worked for me, mostly because if we are going to do this for the rest of our lives, it's kind of nice to be able to change it up here and there without obviously sacrificing what we're aiming for. So again, I'm just a random ball guy on the internet that's been training for a while. Either listen to me or completely ignore me, but please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the bell ding ding so you're part of the notification crew and you know when videos are going to be live. There will be a video on the screen. Give it a click. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't. There's only one way to find out. Otherwise, it's patreon.com/Simon316, grillermind.com/Simon. You can Simon get 10% off. These are the supplements I use, and I'm more than happy to pimp out because I think they rock. Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. I've got merchandise, and I'm on Cameo. That's it. That's all I've got, probably. Check the description for more, but more importantly, have a great workout. No need. See you soon.